For our stabilization movement prep series, we're going to go through self-myofascial release, static stretching, core stabilization, balance stabilization, and then a reactive stabilization exercise. We're going to start with self-myofascial release on the quadriceps. Then we're going to go to static stretching on quadriceps using the kneeling hip flexor stretch. We'll move into core stabilization with a side plank. We'll move into core balance with a single leg balance reach, frontal plane. And then we'll move into reactive stabilization with a squat jump with a hold. So we'll go ahead and begin by taking our ball and then presenting our body in a prone or face down position. And the ball is going to go just in the middle of the thigh. You can't see in the camera, but on my opposite leg, it's going to be to the outside to keep my pelvis nice and balanced. And I'm going to be on my elbows and forearms. I'm going to keep my abdominals drawn in the entire time and make sure that my lower back is in a neutral position and hold on a tender spot for 30 to 60 seconds or until you feel a release. Afterwards, for a kneeling hip flexor stretch, we will present ourselves in a half kneeling position where one knee is going to be on the ground, the other foot's going to be in front with the leading leg at 90 degrees. My trunk is going to be in a neutral position. To perform the movement, I'm going to draw my abdominals in, squeeze the glute, and that's going to tuck the pelvis under. I feel a pretty good stretch on my quadricep, and I'm just going to maintain that stretch for between 30 and 60 seconds or until I feel a release. For a side plank, I'm going to present myself on one side. The setup is the elbow should be under the shoulder, the hip should be in line with the elbow, and the knee should be in line with the hip. So we're looking for a straight line from elbow, hip, knee. For this kneeling or side plank on the knees, I'm just going to keep my knees bent, and I'm going to take my top foot and then nestle it into the ankle on my bottom foot. To perform the movement, I'm going to draw my abdominals in, and then I'm going to push my knee into the ground and elbow into the ground until there's a straight line from my head through the trunk, through the legs. It's very important that we cue the client to push into the ground to produce this force, as opposed to just raising the hips. And you would hold this position for 6 seconds at the least, and you can perform reps of 6 seconds. You can also work up to 20 or 30 seconds statically. Next, what we'll do is the single leg balance reach. So I'm going to present my stance with my feet together, hands on hips, abdominals drawn in, glutes engaged, shoulders back, and eyes forward. I'm going to stand on a single leg by just raising one foot about an inch off of the ground. I'm going to hold this stable position, and then maintaining no movement in the stance leg, I'm going to point forward, hold the position, return. Point to the side, hold the position, return. And then I'm going to open up a little bit, point to the outside diagonally behind me, and then return. For the squat jump of stabilization, we're going to be presenting our stance feet hip width apart, both feet pointed straight ahead, and the beginning position is going to be in a quarter squat with the arms to the side. It's important that with the stance neutral that the spine and shins are going to stay parallel. Now with one movement, you're going to push your feet really hard into the ground, and you're going to assist your jump with an upswing of the arms. When you land, the arms are going to end down by the sides, and you're going to hold that position for 3 to 5 seconds. Well, there you have it. Self-myofascial release on quads with the foam ball. Static half kneeling hip flexor stretch. This was a static side plank. We then moved into a single leg balance reach multiplanar, and then a squat jump